Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Curt Cignetti Show. Jack Benedict here as we talk IUP Crimson Hawks football, and the team continuing its winning ways on the road at Edinboro, 56-28 on a beautiful afternoon on Saturday. And it's always beautiful when you win, Coach. You got off to a great start, and you know, I think anytime, no matter what game it is, it was 35-0 at the half. When you can dictate the game, that's good, isn't it?
It's nice to be up 35-0 at halftime, and then a lot of times when you're in that position at the end of the game, you get a little frustrated about the way the game ends. But I would much rather be working on that part of it than the flip side of the coin.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no doubt about it.
But it shows good preparation on your part, especially when you play on the road.
We've had 3 in a row on the road, and our last 2 were on the road last season. We played 5 straight games on the road. It's going to be great to come back to home. But I thought our preparation throughout the week was really good. I had a strong sense that we would play well. I thought we really played extremely well in all 3 phases in the first half and had a commanding lead, and it was nice to see that.
One of the early things that happened was you always need help from your special teams.
Yeah.
And the block punt by Diamond Jones, Chris Wietzner picks it up, goes in from 10, 12 yards out. That had to be a big part to really give you a jump start.
That was huge because I think we were up 7-0. We had a nice drive on offense and stopped them on defense. And we blocked that punt and go up 2 scores. And it's been a big point of emphasis this year, our special teams. I'm pleased with the way we're progressing up to this point. And Diamond Jones has been a consistent special teams player for us the last 2 years. They came out in a different kind of formation. He made the adjustment. He forced the punt and blocked it. It was a lot like the Charleston block he had in the playoffs. And Chris did a nice job on the scoop and score.
Yeah,
so right away we're up 14-0.
And you know, the thing about Edinboro, I think the first 4 times they had possession, they punted the ball, didn't they?
I think we stopped them the first 7 times on defense. And they'd been scoring a lot of points. And you know, they had a few completions here and there, moved the ball a little bit, but when we had to stop them, we did. And then created turnovers. You know, we were able to keep it going on offense pretty consistently in the first half for the most part, and jumped out to that big lead.
Yeah. I have down here 99-yard drive in 10 play. It's not often you find a 99-yard drive. Maybe just take us through that.
Yeah.
That was something else.
Well, we were on about the 6-inch line at that point, so the big debate there was whether to get under center and quarterback sneak it or try to pound it out. And you know, I think we gained a yard on first down and maybe gained a yard on second down.
Not much.
But I think it was about 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And we threw it, and they spun the coverage. Lenny actually should have been working weak, had his eyes strong. We had great protection. He had really good poise. And then he worked through his progression and found Kevin Edwards and threw him a nice touch pass. We gained about 14 yards and got it out of there. And then it was one big play after another. And before you knew it, you know, we were up 21-0. That was a huge drive. And really, I think probably the first time that we've been challenged or tested offensively in 3 games with a little bit of adversity to have the ball back there like that and have to respond. And I was pleased with the way we did. We really, all the guys executed.
I think that it was the first catch of the year for Kevin Edwards. I mean, he's blocking a lot for you.
That's right.
But it shows how important those guys are. Edwards, Jackson, Pierce, you know, or in the offense.
They're kind of unsung heroes. They do a lot of blocking for us. And usually when they catch a pass, it is a key pass. And then in that case, kept the drive alive.
Yeah. Let's talk about your running back, Samir Bullock. Here's a guy who had 18 carries, 153 yards. He broke another big one, 57 yards. Maybe describe that one for me, because it looked like, you know, Lenny didn't want to give up the ball.
Right.
Who's going to take this thing?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a different kind of play. You know, we were in 4 wides. We were spread out 2 by 2. They brought the blitz to the back, which they started to do quite a bit. And so they were overloaded to the play side. And Lenny actually looked like he wanted to pull the ball. And Samir kind of took it from him. And Lenny spun around. I wasn't sure who had the ball. And next thing I knew, Samir was coming out running for a touchdown. We had really good downfield blocking. And when you get Samir in the secondary and he's got a chance to go the distance, pretty good chance he will, because he's fast. He's a really good open field runner.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings back shades of the Rocket. Tell us a little bit more about Samir Bullock, because on your original list of your 7 recruits,
right,
you got him kind of as a late addition.
Yeah, well, the head coach at Delaware is Dave Brock. He was at North Carolina when I was at North Carolina State, and he had called me before the signing date about Samir. They had signed him the year before. He's out of Philadelphia, Archbishop Ryan High School. He's a good student in terms of his grade point average, but he was having a little bit of trouble with the SATs. They put him in prep school. He was in a prep school up in Massachusetts, and early January, he still had not achieved the score. And they were concerned that they had a numbers problem with oversigning, asked if we would be interested. Dave had sent us Karan Gibson previously. Mm-hmm. So he was on our radar, and then around March, he popped the score. And so we brought him in for a visit. You know, he really wanted to come here. We were able to create room and for him, thankfully, because he's just been a tremendous player for us from the beginning of camp on. He's out there every day, and he's really conscientious. He's got a great work ethic, and he's been a tremendous player for us.
You know, he's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You know, we have talked about this before, about how depth can be broken down so quickly. You had 6 running back, and then you have this one go down. Temple takes a helmet to the knee, and all of a sudden, Luigi's out, you know, and then Aiden Schaefer comes in.
It's unbelievable that, you know, you go from 6 backs to 2, just like that. And that's how we finished the game. Now we're hopeful we're going to get 1 or 2 guys back this week. And
well, it was good to see that Drew Harris was back too.
Yeah, Drew came back and he had 20 carries, and we're shaking the rust off. I thought he ran really hard. He's a good downhill runner, and so, you know, we got to have running backs in the offense we run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, with Lenny Williams has been Lenny, and he's probably got more to give. 80 completion percentage right now, and of course he's running the offense just beautifully. How much has he really progressed over last year? He was Rookie of the Year, but we knew that he had a lot to learn.
Well, I've said it a few times. I thought he was our most improved player in the spring with his footwork, decision making, and throwing. And you know, he's in the film room a lot. He understands you know, a little bit better coverages, pre-snap reads, what we're trying to get done in the pass game. He's seeing the field better. He's throwing the ball on rhythm, and he's throwing the ball accurately. And you know, he really hasn't played a full game yet either. And and we've got some weapons on the outside too.
Oh yeah.
And the offensive line's doing a nice job of protecting him. So we got to keep that going and keep improving, you know, that phase of our offense.
What's nice to see too, I know Mike Petropola was a late arrival to put in as a backup quarterback. He's done such a wonderful job. We know he's a great athlete, plays all over the place. I tried to describe it when it happened. The 43-yard pass play to Walt Pegues was just a thing to behold.
Well, Edinboro was overplaying the run when we had 3 wide receivers on the field and a tight end, 11 personnel we call blue. We had thrown that route for a touchdown to Walt earlier in the game, and then Mike threw it, his first play to Walt, and we dropped it the series before. We got a sudden change turnover. We came back to it. We put Walt outside and Chris inside. And the safety stayed deep, and he made the right read. He threw the ball outside to Walt, and he put it right on a dime, and it was a contested play.
It was.
Walt went up and caught it. It was a beautiful play by both those guys.
Yeah. Both ends. That was terrific. I'm sure you were happy to get some play from Kevin Clark and Miles Catlin, your 2 veteran linebackers back.
Yeah, we need those guys. They're both seniors. Kevin, of course, has 1 million tackles here. And it was his first action. He played about 17 snaps, got his feet wet, and you know, he's only going to be better and better as the weeks. And Miles came back and played a really solid game for us. Nick Dabowski's playing good football too. He's 5th-year senior or 4th-year senior. So, you know, it looks like we've got our linebacking core back. We're still short a guy or 2 up front, but we're starting to get there.
And you were rotating guys again, which it wasn't an overly warm day, but you keep people fresh on that defensive line.
Yeah, and you know, in particular, we're playing a lot faster tempo on offense, so there's more plays in the game. And so keeping people fresh is a huge priority. Defense is playing more snaps than they have in the past. And still offensively, we have to still, I thought that last half of the second quarter, our guys were starting to get a hair tired. And that's when the footwork starts to slip and the technique, and then you get a holding call or 2. So, I mean, we've got areas we need to develop and improve still.
We won't even talk about penalties. Those are parts of different games. But let's talk about Seton Hill. They're 3-1. They started out 3-0.
Right.
They were absolutely blitzed by California last week. We know the quarterback, Christian Strong, big, strong kid. He's going to throw the ball a lot, isn't he?
A lot. And they started the season out. They beat Bowie at Bowie, and Bowie last year was 10-1 and would have made the playoffs, but was disqualified for playing an ineligible player. That was a great win for Seton Hill. They rolled their second and third game by big scores. The Cal game has traditionally been a very close game with Seton Hill. I was a little surprised by the score, but Seton Hill plays kind of feast or famine on offense and defense. They're going to throw the ball deep a lot. They're going to throw the ball a lot, period. And they're going to line up and stack against the run, and you've got some shot plays in the pass game, and if you complete them, great. And if you don't, then they get on it. And, it just wasn't their day. And Cal played well, and it was a big score. But, Seton Hill has gotten better every year. It's a little bit of a trap game, I think, for us. With our kids, we've got to make sure that, we don't get fooled by that score, because they are certainly capable. And, they're going to be a challenge. And, at the end of the day, it comes down to how we prepare and how we execute. And we're going to have to be on our game. Yeah,
they average 37 a game, but they give up 38 a game. Hall of Fame Day. There are 3 former football players, Jim Angelo out of Indiana High School, Paul Murphy, LaRon McCoy, that'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's always a big day, and you'll have good representation from the football program. That'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, there have been so many great players and people come through and play football at IUP and represent IUP in a first-class fashion. It's great to see these individuals recognized by the university. I'm sure it'll be a special day for them.
Yeah. You know what's nice too, Curt, is to see these players, and a lot of them get into coaching, that move on to the collegiate ranks. We know there's representation in the NFL and have been for a while. That shows that it's great tradition here.
Well, IUP football's tradition is recognized nationally. We've had so many coaches coach in the NFL and collegiately, and still are. And people out there know who IUP is, and they know the tradition of the football program. And it's great to see people get their degrees here, have success, and move on.
Well, let's see some people come out and watch this team of yours. I know my partner Abdi Tori's been trumping for people. Come on out and see these guys. This is an exciting team to watch, your team. A lot of good young guys. And the thing that I like about them, too, is they're very respectful of other people. They've been trained well, I think. But I think the fans will have a great time watching them.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a nice turnout. And, I like where we're at this point. We still have a lot of improvements to make, but we do have a lot of great people on our football team that represent the school in a first-class fashion. And, we have to continue to do that. And there's going to be challenges down the road, and this week's going to be a challenge. And, it all starts with what we do today.
Yeah. All right, Curt. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Okay. Now remember that kickoff will be at 4 o'clock for Hall of Fame Day against the Griffins of Seton Hill. So we hope you'll join us with all the coverage coming up this weekend, and join the coach and the players, and come on out and see the Crimson Hawks play. For the coach, this is Jack Benedict. Hope you have a nice evening.